Hello, how are you? I'm a little tired. Sit down, please. I'd like to speak English today too, to improve my speaking skill. Let's get it started. Today, it is May 5th, 2023. It's on Friday and sunny. How are you spending Friday? Are you still in the holidays called Golden Week? Or do you have a work today? It depends on the schedule. It hinges on the schedule of yours. My strategy to spend my holidays is to avoid traveling on holidays because holidays make the prices for many things such as hotel, planes, and other things higher. So, and the prices for many things, what I mentioned before, are relatively cheaper on weekdays during off-season. So I take advantage of the reasonable prices by having a travel on weekdays, off-season. Excuse me, I'd like to know if my area is within the delivery. Excuse me, I'd like to know the services can be delivered to my area. I'd like to know the catering service is available in my area. I'd like to know if the delivering service is available in my area. Deliver. The products I ordered on at the online shop will be delivered today according to the schedule. I wish I could deliver such a stirring speech as you. Are you used to delivering a speech in public, or in a group, or in a meeting? Are you used to delivering a speech in a meeting? Are you used to delivering a speech? Delivering a speech. Do you get used to delivering a speech in a meeting? Are you used to delivering a speech? Deliver. Are you used to delivering a speech in public? The boxer delivered an awesome awesome blow to the opponent, which made him win within 1 minute. The boxer delivered an awesome blow to the opponent. The boxer has the power enough to knock the opponent down by one punch. The boxer delivered an awesome blow. The boxer delivered an awesome blow. The boxer delivered an awesome blow. The boxer delivered an awesome blow to the opponent, which made him win within 1 minute. I'm to deliver a speech in the meeting. I'm to deliver a presentation. I'm to deliver a presentation. I'm to deliver a speech. 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 I'm to deliver a comment. I'm deliver a speech. I'm deliver a speech in the meeting tomorrow. I am to deliver a speech. I am to deliver a speech. Which was the most stirring movie ever for you? Could you recommend me some stirring movies? Because I have some spare time tonight. What are the most stirring movies you have ever watched? What are the stirring movies you have ever watched? What are the stirring movies you have seen, you have ever watched? What are the movies you find stirring ever? What are the movies you have ever watched? What are the most stirring movies for you? What are the movies you find the most stirring? What are the movies that you think the most stirring? What are the movies? What are the most stirring movies you have ever watched? What are the most stirring movies you have ever watched? Stirring, 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 stirring performance, stirring phrase, stirring messages from my friends, acquaintances, relatives, and so on. Stirring scene. The stirring scene of the movie is well known to many people, and many people mimic, mock, imitate the scene. Stirring, 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 stirring. Stirring movie you have ever watched. Could you tell me the movies you find the most stirring? Could you recommend me the movies that you found stirring the most? Stirring. Can you spell the stirring, please? Can you spell the stirring? Stirring. Stirring. The most stirring performance, the most stirring speech. The most stirring ending, the most stirring ceremony, wedding ceremony. Both bride and groom cried at the stirring moment of the wedding ceremony. Both bride and groom kept crying at the stirring wedding ceremony. Stirring, stirring. Both bride and groom cried many times every stirring moment. Both bride and groom cried at every stirring moment. Could you recommend me some songs or movies which are stirring enough to make me cry? Yes. Could you recommend me some music or movies which are stirring enough to make me cry? Enough to make me cry in a good way. Could you recommend me some songs or movies which are stirring enough to make me cry. I'd like to stir audiences with my music or similar ones, with my art. Matcha is made of stirring the powdered green tea with bamboo whisk called chasen. Have you ever tried stirring green tea, powdered green tea, with a bamboo whisk called chasen? We used to stir the butter by ourselves before we introduced the machine. Now that we have the machine stirring the butter itself, our burden became easier. Our burden was alleviated. Our burden was lowered. The machines can stir the butter. During that time, we can work on the other duties, which is very effective. Although the first investment is expensive though. The machine can stir the butter automatically. The machine can stir the dough. The machine can stir the dough. During that time, we can work on the other duties, which is very convenient, which is very efficient. The machine can stir the wheat flour and water. The machine can stir the mixture of egg, butter, wheat flour, and so on, powerfully, automatically, constantly. During that time, we can work on other duties. I was surprised at the fast movement of the chef stirring the egg in the bowl. I was surprised at the fast movement of the hand of by the chef stirring the egg in the bowl. Please keep stirring the ingredients in the pan so that they won't be burned. Please keep stirring the ingredients in the pan in order that they won't be burned. Please keep stirring the ingredients in the pan so that they won't be burned. I was stirred and helped by the music. I think many people were stirred by the music. I'm certain that many audiences were stirred by the movie. I'm certain that many viewers were stirred by the movies. Stir. Stir. Could you help me stir the eggs in the bowl? There are 10 sets of the egg now. Would you mind helping me stir the egg in the bowl? There are 25 sets of the bowls. Could you help me stir the eggs? Stir the egg in the bowl. There are 25 sets of the bowl. Could you help me stir the egg in the bowl? There are 25 sets of the bowl for today's party. Could you help me stir the egg? Stir. Could you help me stir the egg in the bowl? Could you help me stir the egg in the bowl? Could you help me stir the egg in the bowl? Could you help me stir the egg in the bowl? Could you help me stir? Could you help me stir the egg in the bowl? Please stir me with your performance music. I was stirred by the high quality sound of the audio visual. It left nothing to be desired. Let me stir by your performance. Let me stir by your playing the violin. The machine can keep stirring until we stop it. The machine can keep stirring until we stop it. The machine can keep stirring until we stop it. I set the timer for the machine to stop stirring in 7 minutes. I set the timer for the machine to stop stirring in 5 minutes. I set the timer for the machine to stop stirring in 5 minutes. I set the timer for the machine to stop stirring in 7 minutes. I set the timer for the machine to stop stirring in 7 minutes. I set the timer for the machine to stop stirring in 5 minutes. I stirred at the performance of yours. I haven't stirred recently, so I'd like to feel the stirring by watching movies. Could you recommend me a movie which made me stir? I feel like stirring. I stirred at the help by my friends. I stirred at the encouraging message from my friends. I stirred at the encouraging messages from my relatives. I stirred. I stirred at the encouraging messages from the video. Quick movement is the key to the good stir. The machine is very effective when it comes to the stir. The stir can be done by the machine. Some people never concede their defeat. Some people never try to concede. Some people never try to concede their failure, mistakes, and so on. The student conceded that he had conceded, that he had cheated on the examination. The student conceded that she had cheated on the examination. The student conceded that she had cheated on the examination. The student conceded that she had cheated on the examination. At first, I didn't want to concede my defeat to the opponent, but with time I started to accept it. The boxer trained himself a lot after the defeat, and he didn't want to concede the defeat at all. Some people never try to concede their defeats, mistakes, and so on. Concede. Conceding the mistakes might be the first step to improve the skill, technique, and so on. Without conceding the mistakes, our progress might be limited. Concede. I didn't want to concede the mistake at that time because there was no decisive evidence. We were sometimes obliged to concede the things which are not wrong. We are sometimes compelled to concede the things which are not wrong. The company conceded that they had deceiving the customers for over the decades. The company conceded that they had been cheating the customers by telling the false. The company conceded that they had been cheating the customers. Some people little concede. Some people never concede. They are determined. They are obstinate. They are stubborn, obstinate, and never change their mind. Some people never concede the wrongdoings done by them. Some people never concede the wrongdoings done by them. Some people little concede. Some people never concede. Some people are not willing to concede. Some people will not concede. Some people won't concede. Some people will not 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 concede. Unfortunately, both sides didn't concede in the meeting, so no progress was made. Unfortunately, both sides didn't try to concede, so no progress was made. Conceding might be the first step to progress, to grow. Conceding might be the first step to grow. Some people little concede in everything. Some people little concede in everything. Some people little concede. Some people little concede. Some people little concede in everything. I cannot forget the defeat. In other words, thanks to the defeats, we can be stronger, and the defeats will make us make more efforts. Defeats are really stressful for me, but the defeats make me do more efforts in order to make up for the defeats, compensate for the defeats, and to grow. Defeats were really irritating for me, but in other words, the defeats made me do more efforts and made what I am now. I remember the captain of the baseball team from junior high school commenting that their team would defeat the opponent in the first round of the tournament, ending up losing. I remember the captain of the baseball team from junior high school commenting that his team would defeat the opponent in the first round of the tournament, ending up losing. The biggest target for the team is to defeat the opponent in the national tournament, because this is the first opportunity to play in the national tournament for the school. The biggest target of the team is to defeat the opponent in the national tournament, because this is the first time to play in the national tournament for the team. I will definitely defeat the opponent. Defeating the temptation on the way. Defeating the temptation on the way. I did a lot of training and practices so as to defeat the opponent team in the game. I withdrew from the club activity on the day because I felt it didn't fit me. Fitting to me. I withdrew from the club activity on the day I belonged to because I felt it not fit for me. I felt it didn't fit for me. It was not long before the company withdrew from the business, which was not going well. It was not very long before the company withdrew from the field industry, which was not going well. It was not very long before the company withdrew from the business, which was not going well. It was not long before the ambulance came. It won't be long before the ambulance comes. Considering the situation of the company, it won't be very long. The company withdraws from the field, which is not going well. The best thing is that I can withdraw money 24 hours from the ATM at convenience stores. And the best thing is that I can withdraw money from the ATM 24 hours, which is very convenient. The shellfish withdraw itself when it noticed the danger from enemies. The shellfish withdrew itself when it realized its danger from outside, around. I saw the shellfish withdrawing itself after noticing the danger around. I saw the shellfish withdrawing itself. I saw the shellfish withdrawing itself. I saw the shellfish withdrawing itself. The commander-in-chief decided to withdraw its forces into the shelf. Can I withdraw what I said? Can I take back what I said? Can I retrieve what I said? Can I take back what I said? Can I withdraw what I said? When the enemies approached, the mother withdrew her cubs inside. Before typhoon approaches, we know that we have to withdraw the objects are outside for safety, so that they won't be blown off by the strong wind. It is normal to withdraw taking the objects outside before typhoon approaches, so that they won't be blown off by the strong wind. How much can I withdraw from the ATM at once? The amount of money we can withdraw at the ATM is limited to prevent the victims from sending a lot of money to the scammers. The amount of money we can withdraw from the ATM is limited in order to protect the victims from paying a lot of money to the scammers. Withdraw. I once tried topical steroid withdrawal, which I failed. I tried topical steroid withdrawal sometimes, from time to time, but I failed. The commander-in-chief of the forces decided to withdraw the soldiers from the front line for safety. I withdrew the objects put outside, such as potted trees, potted flowers, decorations, welcoming board, and so on, in preparation for typhoon. It's normal and common to withdraw the objects put outside, such as potted flowers, welcoming board, and so on, in preparation for typhoon, so that in order that the object won't be blown off by the strong wind. How much? Can I ask how much you withdrew from the ATM? How much can I withdraw from the ATM? I usually withdraw money when the transaction fee is free. It's my it's my purpose, it's my strategy. I'm sure that many people are withdrawing money when the transaction fee is free. Because every time we pay the transaction fee, because it's waste of money to pay the transaction fee every time we withdraw or deposit money. Withdrawal of money is available 24 hours at the convenience store, which is very convenient. The availability of the withdrawal of money 24 hours is very convenient. Withdrawal of the soldiers were ordered by the commander-in-chief at earlier phase for safety. The withdrawal from the field, which was not going well, was conducted too late. So the company ended up having many debts from the field. The withdrawal from the field of the business, which was not going well for the company, made the company lose many money, profits, earned from other fields in total. The late withdrawal from the field of the business, which was not going well, lowered the total profits in the company group. The late withdrawal from the field, which was not going well, was lowered the total profits in the group. Withdrawal, 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 withdrawal. Are you waiting for upset life of yours? Upset life might be possible only by changing your style and by challenging something new, not being afraid of making a mistake. Only then I think we can make a change. The losing team of the baseball got surprised at the upset game tendency in the game. The supporters of the baseball game, were surprised at the upset home run by the athlete, which turned the game to the starting point again, 5-5. Which turned the game to the starting point again, 5-5. Which turned the game to the starting point again, 5-5. Which turned the game to the starting point again. Which turned the game to the starting point again, 5-5. By 5-5. Upset victory. Upset victory by the grand slam home run by the athlete. Batter. Upset. I couldn't hide my upset emotion on my face. Expression on my face. Upset. Victory. Upset scenario of the result. Upset result at the last minute. Taking over. Awesome taking over of the runner at the last minute. Upset victory of the runner at the last minute. Upset victory of the team can be possible. Is also possible. Upset victory of the baseball team is almost impossible because the gap between the gap of the scores is too much by 10-0. Upset victory of the game, life, marathon, whatsoever, whatever, whatsoever, upset. Everybody was upset at the sudden earthquake during the meeting. All of the tourists were upset at the sudden earthquake. The game got upset at the fifth round of the game. which turned the game to the starting point by 5-5. The game got upset in the fifth round of the game, which turned the game to the starting point by 5-5 again. The baseball game was upset in the fifth round of the game, which turned the game to the starting point again by 5-5. Upset result of the election made everyone surprised. The upset result of the election took us by surprise. I felt someone taking hold of my hand. But when I looked back, I found no one, so it might be a ghost. It might have been a ghost. I felt someone taking hold of my clothes, but when I looked back over my shoulder, I found no one. So it might have been a ghost. Upset victory. Upset result of the tournament game. Upset project. Upset plan from the starting point. Upset plan at all from the original one. Upset result. Upset emotion on my face was not be hidden. I couldn't hide my upset at the result of my TOEIC test. I upset at me. I upset at me. I mad at me. I upset at me. I was upset at rude attitude of the receptionist of the hotel. I was almost crying in the hotel room. I was upset at the attitude, rude attitude, crude, terrible, horrible, dreadful, horrible attitude of the receptionist of the hotel. I was almost crying in the hotel room. Upset victory. Upset victory. Upset victory. The big wave upset the boat. The big waves by the typhoon upsetted some boats docked in the port. The home run hit by the batter upset the game, turning the game to the starting point again by 5-5. Your vote might upset the result of the election. So go to the voting. Go to the vote. Go voting. Your voting might upset the result of the election. So go voting now. You are voting. Your vote. Your one vote. Your one vote. Your one vote. One vote. Your one vote. Your one vote might upset the result of the election. Your one vote. Your one vote. Vote. Your one vote might change the result of the election. The election. Your one vote might upset the result of the election. I'm sure that upsetting the common sense, the current common sense, will be upset with the advancement of technologies. Common senses will be upset with time. Common senses will be upset with time. Your one vote. Your one vote. Your one vote. One vote. Your one vote might upset the result of the election. Your one vote might upset the result of the election. Upset. 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 Upside down. After mounting the picture frame on the wall, I found it upside down, ending up mounting again, which was waste of time. It's no wonder that everyone was laughing at me because I wore my clothes inside out. The big waves during the typhoon upset many boats docked in the port. The home run hit by the batter upset the game to the starting point again by 5-5. The home run hit by the batter upset the game again to the starting point by 5-5. New technology will upset our common sense. New technologies will upset our common sense. New technologies such as AI will upset our common sense. The scary news upset me, which discouraged me from starting the business. Everybody was surprised at the upset. Everybody was surprised at the upset of the result of the election. I was surprised at the upset of the election result. I was astonished at the upset of the election. I was astonished at the upset of the presidential election. Presidential campaign. Presidential race. Upset of the game by the home run of the batter turned the game to the starting point again. Upset of the game tendency. Upset of the game tendency in favor of Team A and to the Team B. The rescuers headed for the upsetting boat immediately. Sudden upset of the mood of her. Sudden upset of her mood from happiness to anger was so fast. Upset. Sudden upset was observed in the world during the pandemic. The upset of common sense was observed everywhere. I'd like to know the vacancy of the hotel rooms. Please look at the schedule table. By pushing the date where you want to stay, you can see the availability and vacancy. If it is written no vacancy, the date on the date you cannot reserve on the date. Please bear that in mind. Please take that in mind. The company started to recruit a couple of new employees to fulfill the vacancy for engineer. The company had just started to recruit a couple of employees to fill the vacancy for engineer. No vacancy is always written on the board in front of the bakery shop. Hotel, not a bakery shop. No vacancy is always written on the board in front of the hotel, which explains how popular the hotel is. Excuse me, is there any vacant single room today? I don't have a reservation. I'm sorry for short notice. On short notice. Excuse me, is there a vacant single room? Excuse me, is there a vacant single room? Vacant. The vacant lot will be turned into a parking lot soon. The country has been taken over by the tyrant for over decades. Tyrant of the company. Virtual tyrant of the company is not the CEO. The tyrant of the school monopolizes the school ground every afternoon, every break time. Tyrant. The tyrant lost popularity and seceded from the position. The tyrant handed over his profession to his son. The tyrant handed over his post to his daughter. The tyrant handed over his post to his son. Tyrant. Tyrant. What is the definition of tyrant? The tyrant monopolizes the school ground every lunchtime for play. The tyrant led the country to recession. The tyrant led the country to recession. More and more. Tyrant. The tyrant of the company led the company to bankruptcy very quickly. The newly enacted tyrant of the company took the company to the bankruptcy so immediately. The newly enacted tyrant of the company contributed to being taken over by other big companies very quickly. Tyrant. Tyrant in the family. Tyrant in public transportation by taking up much space alone. The CEO of the company is well known as the tyrant who never concedes, and obstinate, stubborn, arrogant, abhorrent, hostile, mayhem, chaos, whatsoever. Tyrant. Tiger. Tyrant. Aristocrat. Autocrat. What is the difference between tyrant and autocrat? Tyrant. 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 Everyone describes him as tyrant. Everybody describes him as tyrant. Virtual tyrant of the entity. So-called tyrant of the entity resigned from his post after being criticized by many members, and he was obliged to do that. He was obliged, he was compelled, he was forced to resignate from the position. Tyrant. Tyrant. Tyranny by the tyrant. Tyranny by the abhorrent CEO, Chief Executive Officer. Tyranny. 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 Tyranny by the tyrant. Tyranny. 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 Tiramis. Tyranny. Omurice. Not related at all, I think. Tyranny. 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 Tyranny by the tyrant. The tyranny collapsed after being criticized by many citizens. Tyranny. Tyranny by the tyrant. 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 Tyrannical students were always monopolizing the school ground during the lunchtime, which prevented other students from playing. Have you experienced the same things? The tyrannical students were always monopolizing the school grounds every lunch break, which stopped other students from playing in the space. Tyrannical. Tyrannical. Tyrannical way of thinking. Tyrannical passenger. The tyrannical passenger was taking up much space alone in the public transportation, which made other passengers stand around. The tyrannical passenger took up much space in the public transportation, which forced other passengers stand nearby. Tyrannical boss. Is your boss tyrannical? Is your boss tyrannical? I hope my future boss will not be tyrannical. And I also wish I won't be tyrannical one in the future. Tyrannical. 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 If I become tyrannical, please notify me of that because I might notice it. If I become tyrannical, please tell me. Because I don't want to be tyrannical. If I behave tyrannically, please tell me. Because I don't want to be tyrannical. If I'm tyrannical, please tell me because I don't want to be tyrannical. 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 Tyrannical policy. Tyrannical politics. Tyrannical procedures. Tyrannical decision made by the tyrant. Tyrannical decision made by the principal of the school. Tyrannical decision made by the governor. Tyrannical decision made by the bully. Tyrannical decision made by the leader of the team. Tyrannical. 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 The tourist spot still retains the terrestrial atmosphere, so I highly recommend you go there. I highly recommend that you should go there. Retain. Repetition is a good way to retain deeper memorization of what we have memorized. Repetition is one of the ways to retain what we have memorized. Deep. Retain. I still retain the memorable things such as letters, pencils, textbooks, in my treasure box. Retain. I usually retain everything I find valuable, memorable. Can you retain the motivation forever? At first part, many of us will be able to retain the motivation, but as the time passes, it's makes us more difficult to keep the motivation. Retainment of motivation, retainment of the motivation, retainment of the motivation, retainment, retainment of motivation can be difficult in the middle of the part. In the middle part. Retainment. Retainment of the memory. Repetition is helpful for deeper retainment of what we have memorized. Repetition is very efficient and helpful when it comes to the deeper retention of what we have memorized. Deeper retainment of what we have memorized. Repetition is one of the ways I use for the deeper retainment of what I have memorized. Repetition is the way I use for the deeper retainment of what I have memorized. Repetition is the way I use for the deeper retainment of what I have memorized. Retainment. 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 Perfect retainment of the motivation. The perfect retainment of the speed by the machine is awesome. The perfect retainment of the speed by the machine is amazing, stunning, astonishing, unbelievable, incredible. Retainment. Retainment. Okay, I will finish speaking here. Thank you for watching. See you next time. See you.